Good evening, everybody. This is Ambarish Tarte here. I hope everybody can hear me. I can see there are some 20 participants who've joined this webinar. So I would like to welcome you all to this Excel webinar. I can see people are still coming in. Uh, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Vikrant Gupta and Sriram, for acknowledging that you can hear me in the questions window. Yes, if you have any questions during the session, you can always type it in the questions window. About me, my name is Ambarish Tarte, brought up in Pune, born in Mumbai, currently living in Navi Mumbai, and keep traveling across the country for various MS Office training assignments. I do classroom as well as online training programs on MS Office. I was privileged to be certified by Microsoft in December 2013 as a Microsoft certified trainer, and I'm glad to be associated with Edureka. I hope you all know that these sessions are done by Edureka, the online session. In the past, I have done training on webinars like this on VLOOKUP, conditional formatting. I think there was one on validation as well. There was one on data protection as well. There was one on data visualization, and this is again another one on data visualization. So the reason we are keeping this again is because a lot of people had requested us to, keep the data visualization session again, because charts are very important in Excel. Yeah, so rather than typing data and paragraphs and statements, it's always good to let the person see your data in the format of a graph or a chart. Yeah, so very soon we will get started. It's 9:03 already. I can see that there are 22 people who have that makes it 23 now, who have joined. Okay, so first of all, friends, the version of Excel that I have here that I'm using for demonstration is MS Office 2013, so Excel 13, right? Yes, Vikrant, you will get the recording of the session as well. So just in case during the session, if your phone rings and you're away from the session for 5-10 minutes, if you miss something, you can always get that. You have to send a mail to the support team. It's a good question, actually, Vikrant. Just for the benefit of everybody, if you miss out something, you can always write into the support team, support at Edureka, and they will be able to make the recording available. Okay, great. So I'm assuming that everybody is able to hear me properly and they are able to also see my screen, right? First of all, friends, just look at the data which I have in the A and B column. It talks about some products, okay, and it talks about some sales. The best way to prepare a chart in Excel is you select just one cell of your data. A lot of times I've seen people have the habit of selecting the complete data by doing Control A or by using mouse or any other keyboard shortcut, and then they go to the Insert tab. I'm sure we all know that on the top portion of your Excel there is this ribbon which has some tabs, and in the Insert tab of Excel you have the option of charts. Okay, so a lot of people select the data, go to the Insert tab, and then they select the type of the chart that they would like to make. I'm sure everybody here also, in fact, if not everybody, at least most of you here are also doing the same. The best way to do this is simply select any one cell of your choice in the Excel data and press F11. I repeat, simply select any one cell of your choice in the data. Like in my case, I'm going on 27 now, which is a part of the data. Okay, and press F11, function 11, mind you. Okay, the top row on the keyboard, F11, and check it out. Do you see that a graph is prepared, a chart is prepared? Okay, I have this habit of saying graph, but it's actually called chart. In Excel, it's called as chart. Yeah, that's it. So this is a wonderful shortcut. I'm sure you're able to see that on the left hand side of my sheet, my existing sheet, there is a new sheet prepared by the name chart 1, and it shows me the chart. Okay, now if you're using the Excel 2013 version, you will see that on the top right hand side, slightly on the right hand side in your Excel ribbon, okay, you have this command that says change chart type. Okay, I hope you guys, all of you, can you all see my circles blinking here, friends? Are you all able to see my circles blinking on that command that says change chart type? Okay, so yeah, you can just go there and you can select change. Now if you are using the Excel 2010 or 7, then this change chart type will appear somewhere on the left hand side. Okay, but because right now I am on 13, it's appearing somewhere on the right side. Okay, but keep in mind you have to click on the design tab. This is a design tab here. Every time you have a graph or a chart, you will have a design tab here, and you have to click on the design tab and then go to change chart type. Okay, now when you click on change chart type, a dialog box opens up that says change chart type. Okay, if you are on Excel 2010 or 7, then on the extreme left hand side bottom of this change chart type window, you will have an option that says set as default. So if you prefer a particular type of chart, and if you'd always like that type of chart to be prepared, when you press F11, you might want to select that type of chart and press set as default, which is available somewhere here. Okay, in Excel 2007 and 2010. However, because I am on 2013, I have this option available here on right click. So for example, I am not okay with this type of a column chart which is prepared right now, right? So what I can do is I can go to, for example, I can go to the line, right? Do you see on the left hand side? Can you all see on the left hand side of this change chart type window? I have got multiple types of charts. I can see column, I can see line, I can see pie, I can see bar, I can see area, XY scatter and stuff like that, right? I hope all of you can see that, right? So let's go to the line type chart right now, okay? And in the top portion of this change chart type window, there are various types of various further subtypes of line chart available. So let's just select this, the first one maybe, okay? And I can do a right click here and I can say set as default. Yeah, upon doing right click, the only option that comes up is set as default. So I click on that now and that's it. And from the bottom of this change chart type window, I can click OK, and that's it. As you can see, my chart has been changed into a line chart now from the column chart. Okay, well, this was a shortcut to simply prepare a chart on the new worksheet. Okay, now if you wish to come back to the original worksheet where you have your existing data, in my case there is a sheet called there's a sheet called simple charts. Okay, so if I want to come back to the earlier worksheet, I know that everybody knows that I can simply click with the mouse and I can simply just come there. However, if it's just the next sheet, I can press control page down. Yeah, simply click anywhere on the existing sheet and press control page down. You are taken back to the earlier worksheet. Okay, now Vikrant had a question here. Vikrant says, okay, let me just quickly read the question here. There is this questions window which appears on and off of the screen. Okay, well, if you want to do a swap between X and Y axis, you can always go to the design tab. Remember, design tab is like the lifeline of your chart. So you go to the design tab, Vikrant, and then you have this option here that says switch row and column. Okay, in fact, I can show that to you right now. So let's come back to the simple charts sheet. Okay, I hope you all know that what I have at the bottom of my screen are called as Excel sheets, and the entire interface is called as an Excel file. So in this Excel file called chart, which is opened up right now, I've got 5 sheets at the moment. Okay, so and control page down and control page up are the shortcuts to navigate between these two sheets in the same file. Okay, Vikrant, so let's now come back to the simple charts window. Friends, all of you, you just saw that I pressed F11, correct? To prepare a chart in the next worksheet, new worksheet. If I would like to do that in the same worksheet, then again, rather than going to the insert tab and searching for the chart, I can simply press Alt F1. I repeat, if you wish to prepare a chart in the same worksheet where your data lies, simply select any one cell of your choice. So I can select any one cell, maybe in the, any column, okay, any column, and I will simply press, so my cursor is now in the cell that says product 3, okay, and I will now press Alt F1, and I hope you guys can see that the graph is prepared in the same sheet, okay. And Vikrant's another question was, what if we have more than 5 columns? Well, that's okay, Vikrant. It's absolutely okay. Even if you have 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, simply make sure that you select any one cell of your choice in that data and press either Alt F1 or F11. Okay, you just have to make sure that there is no blank column between your data. No blank column, no blank rows. Okay, some other people also have this habit of selecting this whole data by doing control shift arrow right, control shift arrow down, and then they go to the insert tab. But it's not required if your data is linear. Yes, you might want to do a manual selection in a specific scenario. For example, here you have sales figures, okay, and here maybe you have target given for the next month. Okay, let's assume that this is the data. This is my data. I'm selling 4 different products, and my this month's achievement is given to me in the B column, and my target for each product is given to me in the next column. Okay, let's take an example. 50. I'll just put 50 here. Maybe I can just put 30 here. Maybe I can just put 40 here and 20 here. Okay. Now let's take an example that I would like to simply prepare a chart with only the product and the target column, which means if I want to exclude the sales column, in that case, I might want to simply, okay, now first of all, I will just delete this chart here, okay. Okay, how do you delete the chart? Simply select on the boundary, okay, the boundary of the chart, and press delete on the keyboard. All right, now let's come back here again in the data. I've just added one column here, which is target. Like I said earlier, like we have done a couple of times already, I will simply select any one cell of my choice in the data. It could be the header, it could be the actual value. I can press Alt F1 and I can see that because the default setting was done as line, this time I get the line chart. I hope you all remember last time it was the column chart because that's the setting by default in all the versions of Excel. But because in my case I've changed it to line, it's come up with a line chart now, and the target is shown up in the maroon line, and the sales figures are shown in the blue line. Now, if the chart is supposed to be only made for just the target and not the sales, I can always go to the design tab here, and I can choose this command that says select data. Remember, all these commands, switch row column, select data, change chart type, all these commands will always be in the design tab. Just that in the Excel 2007 and 10 versions, you will have it on the left hand side somewhere, and here it's on the right hand side. Anyway, I go to the select data now, and can you see? Can you all see? It comes up with a window that says select data source. Okay, it says select data source. I hope everybody can see this. Okay, and now since I'm not interested in the sales column, I can simply just select that, and of course there's a tick mark for both, but I can select sales and I can say remove, and I can say OK, and now you can see that the graph is only about one specific column. Okay, so this is simple information about some charts. Are you all okay with me so far? Are you all able to hear me? And are you all able to see my screen properly as well? It would be great to get some acknowledgements. Yeah, thank you Vikram for the acknowledgement. Thank you Amit. Thank you Ashwani. All right, great. Thanks Vinod. Yadi also, thank you. All right, great. So far what we've seen is F11 and Alt F1. Keep in mind it's applicable to all versions of Excel. All right, and when you have the graph prepared, okay, you click on the boundary of the graph, all right, and then you simply perform a Control C. That is the very basic shortcut of copying, and you can simply paste this graph in your Word document or maybe PowerPoint presentation. However, please bear in mind that if you simply do a copy and paste, that is Control C here and Control V over there in the other document, the chart will not be dynamically updating. All right, if you wish to make it in such a way that all changes in the Excel environment are automatically incorporated in the PowerPoint or the Word environment, then you will simply do a Control C from here. But when you go to the PowerPoint or the Word, you will go to the Home tab and you will say Paste, and then you will say Paste Special, and then you will say Paste Link. Okay, please don't do a simple Control C and Control V. You might want to just do a Paste Special and Link if you would like it such a way that changes here are done there automatically. All right. Okay. Great. Now, friends, again, for a minute, now that I'm in this line chart, I would like to go back to the design tab again. Okay, the design tab. Okay, Vikrant is asking a question. What is the difference between paste and paste special? Paste is a simple paste, but in paste special, you get to choose from various options. In a simple example would be, sometimes you want to paste something as a formula, and sometimes you would say, no, 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 I don't want to paste it as a formula. I want to paste it as a value. Maybe you can remind me about this when we are towards the end of the session, and we can discuss this in details, because it's not about graphs and charts. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. But yes, paste is a simple thing, and paste special is slightly enhanced feature. Right. Okay. Friends, kindly understand that we all call it as a graph or a chart, but if you look at Wikipedia, the definition says a graph is just a simple structure. Okay, the basic thing that comes up in front of you when you press F11 or Alt F1 is a graph. However, when you modify it, when you add data labels, or when you change axis, or when you decorate it, okay, to suit your requirements, then it becomes a chart. And that's why in Excel it says chart. It doesn't say graph, right? Even if you look at this design tab here, and if you say, it says change chart type, it doesn't say change graph type. So Microsoft likes to use the word chart because it's a slightly enhanced, version of graph. Okay, all right. Now, friends, okay, so I am in this graph right now. Sorry, chart. I have this very bad habit of saying graph versus chart, but it's chart. Okay, I select on the boundary of this chart. Okay, and I go to the design tab, and I go to change chart type from the right hand side in the ribbon. Okay, and now I go to change chart type. I will change it back to column like we saw last time. There are many options available on the left side, many chart types. Rupesh, chart type is different types of charts available to you. Like you can see on my screen right now, I can choose whether I want to go with a column chart or a line chart or a pie chart or a bar chart and stuff like that. Okay, now I will go with the column. So I select this, the first one, clustered column, and I will say set as default. Okay, and I'll just say OK from here. Okay, so now I will just, okay, now you can see that my chart type has been changed from line to column. Okay, now if you notice the screen here, you will see that I've got four columns. Okay, we can say four buildings, four skyscrapers, and it's needless to explain here that the x-axis has taken up the names of all the products, and the y-axis is the sales figures. Okay, if I simply select any one of these columns, okay, there are four right now, I can simply just click on any one of them. Do you notice that my Excel is smart enough to select all of these? Okay, it's selecting all of these. All right, now I can simply do a right click. Okay, and I have this option here that says add data label. When I do a right click, a small window pane opens up, and one of the options out there is add data label, right? So I can say add data label, and you will see that it adds data labels. Okay, now in this case, do you see that the data label is only added for the product 3? So maybe when I was doing a right click, I didn't do it properly. So I can always do a Control Z. Okay, I can come out. I can simply just select all the bars. I can say add data label once again and see, check it out. Do you see? It shows the data labels for all the bars right now. Okay. Are you guys okay with me so far, all of you? I mean, it's been 20 minutes that I've been speaking, but I just want to make sure that you guys are able to hear me, and you all are able to see my screen. I keep checking this because I don't really trust the internet connection. I mean, we live in the era of internet connection, so I like to check. Yeah, you never know, anything can go wrong. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Ashwani, Vikrant, and Yadi, and Sarwan Raju. All right. Okay, thank you. Great, friends. Generally, I like to send a file. The file which I'm using, and I'm sure even you might know some Excel trainers who would be doing this. I like to send the file to the participants that even they can practice. But since this is an open webinar, we are not sure how many registrations we are going to get and stuff like that. So I did not send the file earlier. Okay, but anyway, you can also quickly prepare a data like the way I am preparing and do the things which I'm doing if that's comfortable with you. Anyway, friends, again I click on the boundary of the chart. I go to the design tab again, and I go to this change chart type from the ribbon. And just a quick thing here, I will change it to line right now. You have already seen it gives me a preview here, and you've already seen what happens. If I change it to bar right now, okay, can you see now? Okay, I'm changing it to bar, and I say okay, right? Do you see that the graph, sorry, the chart has now changed? Earlier it was having all the names of the products as x-axis, and there were vertical columns. Now that I've changed the chart type to bar, okay, it has now changed its orientation. So the products have gone on the y-axis, and the values, the 0, 10, 20, the sales figures, the value has become y-axis, right? So it's just a simple turn that has happened here, okay? And the columns are also now horizontal, they're not vertical anymore. So that's the difference between a bar and a column chart, just opposite. Again, further, if you would like, I can again click on the boundary of this graph. I will again go to the change chart type from here. Okay, once again I'm reminding you friends, click on the boundary, go to the design tab, and in Excel 2007 or 10 you will have the command of change chart type on the left side, somewhere on the left side. Okay, but here it's on the right side because I'm on 14. All right, now I will change it to pie chart. Okay, a pie is like a donut. Okay, it's not really a donut, but it's a circle basically. All right, so I click on the pie and I say okay from here. Right? Do you notice that there were 4 products? Okay, product 1 has taken up the blue color. Okay, then there is product 2 which has taken up the maroon. And then there is green for product 3, and purple or violet, whatever is product 4. Okay, so what happens when you do a pie chart is it shows percentage wise distribution, right? So that's what happens in a pie chart. Again, let's look at one more okay, one more way of doing this. Okay, and of course friends, if you would like to, so there's a question by Sriram about changing the color, applying the color. Of course you can always right click on one of the portions here. Yeah, I can just do a right click and I can go to fill and I can change the color of my choice. Can you see it was purple or violet earlier? Now I am changing it to yellow, the product 4, right? So that's how it is. So you can always do a right click and you can go to fill, okay, and you can do it Sriram, right? Okay, all right, I can one more time. Now let's just okay, I don't really want this target column here now, okay, and of course if you have more number of products like product 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on the number of products you have, your Excel will automatically assign colors. Yeah, okay, and of course you can do a right click and go to fill and change the colors depending on your requirement. Okay, all right, now I will just come here. Okay, Devanshu is asking a question here. He's saying that the sum of values was more than 100. Yes, because it was simply picking up the figures in my column here. So one more time, I make a graph, I make a chart here. I will change the chart type. I can go back to the pie, all right, and I can say okay from here, right? Now if you look at this, just a minute here, okay. Okay, so if you look at the screen here, yes, I know that, if you do an addition here, okay, it comes to 115, right? But remember here, if you click on, if you do a right click and say add data labels, it is simply going to show you whatever figures are there in your D column. Okay, so it's not going to it's not going to always show you 100. What happens is it shows you percentage wise. The distribution of the color is percentage wise, but the values will be shown as the way they are given to you in your data. Okay, again I select the boundary of the chart. I can go to the design tab. I can go to change chart type again. This time I can choose maybe XY scatter. Okay, see, I'm choosing XY scatter. I'll say okay. Now friends, please understand that the XY scatter type of chart will never show you the names of your products in the x-axis like it was doing earlier. Okay, this type of a chart is not really ideal for the kind of data which I have here. Okay, the best example to use the XY, can you see here right now on the X-axis I've got numbers, and again on the Y-axis I've got numbers. Okay, and this dot here is showing up as 40 because my product 1 is 40, right? And then this dot here is stopping at 27, somewhere between 25 and 27 because it's 27. So the best example of using this XY scatter chart is height and weight of a person. So maybe the weight of the person can be plotted on the x-axis, and y-axis can have the height. Okay, that's one of the, or maybe rainfall values, something on those lines, right? But okay, so this was just to show you. Okay, I think we'll look at one more type of chart now, and then we'll move to waterfall. Okay, so I select on the boundary of the graph, change chart type. I can go to, maybe I can select area. Okay, I can select area, right? So in the area, do you see the complete portion of my graph is shaded? Earlier we were having those columns or those bars or those dots, okay, and then now we have the complete portion which is shaded now. Yeah, what happens is it is showing up 40 here in the y-axis itself, the beginning itself, because my product 1 is plotted right in the beginning here. Down below it comes down here because my product 2 is 27. So that's how you visualize. There's a different feel that you get. There's a different visualization for each type of chart. Okay, that was just a simple information. This was just a very simple data. Okay, I had just taken some products. Okay, anyway, we will again come back to this sheet when we look at the concept of table. Okay, or maybe we can take another data, right? Now friends, let's look at the waterfall charts. Okay, when you go to the design tab and when you go to change chart type, there was no real option that says waterfall. But using the type of charts available to us, we can create a we can make the chart look like a waterfall chart. Right. So again, let's press Control page down. Can you see that I have a different type of a data here? Okay. I mean, the information which was given to me in the first, the simple charts sheet is, these are just my sales figures. So I just have some simple positive values here. Okay. But now if you look at my data in the waterfall sheet, I hope you can see I'm in a different sheet right now by the name waterfall. Okay. All right. So friends, now let's take an example here that I conducted one training program. Okay. Yes, I do a lot of training programs. So now let's assume that in one of my training programs, I got 26,000 rupees or dollars or reals, whatever, deposited into my bank account. All right, that's my earned amount. That's what the first row in the data tells you. All right, now I realized that, well, to get nominations for this training program, I had done some advertisement in the newspaper, maybe television, okay, and I had spent 5,000 rupees or whatever. Okay, so then that's my expense. But do you see here? In the same column, I have been given the positive value as well as the negative value. Can you all see this? Then I realized, okay, well, I also had done some purchase of some laptops and projectors and stuff like that for the training. So 16,000 was spent on that, right? Then I had to give out some commission to vendors, all right? So 4,000 and all, okay? And then I realized that although I have got 26,000 in my bank account, I have spent up this much amount, which is 5,000, 16,000 and 4,000. So my net profit from this training is 1,000. This is what the data tells me. Are you guys okay with this so far? Now what I will do is to prepare a waterfall chart. Okay, what I will do is I will take assistance from two more columns which are not really given to me in the data. Okay, so let's create another column here. So I'm typing invisible column and I'm typing visible column. Okay, so visible column, I will simply select and I will simply copy the values given to me in the amount column. All right, so I select the whole visible column and I press equal to, I take the reference of the cell B2 and finally I press Control Enter. Okay, I hope all of you know Control Enter. Yeah. Not all your solutions in Excel are obtained by simply pressing enter. Okay, you have to press Control Enter also when you have a range selected. Okay, all right. So my visible column is now just a duplication of my amount column. In the invisible column, I will plot figures which are actually spent out. You know, not really spent out, but it's a virtual column actually. So I will start off with a 0 here, okay, and look at the thing that I'm doing here now. Okay, if you're an expert in terms of formulas and referencing, you will understand quickly what I'm doing here. Equal to sum, all right. Now, this is a very basic formula. I'm sure we all know that. Okay, all right. So equal to sum. Now what I'm doing here is equal to sum of the values in the next row. Okay, I'm not simply doing a summation of all the data or anything else. I'm saying summation of the value which is given to me in C4 and D4. Why am I doing this is something that you will soon understand. So I'll press enter now. I get this answer as 16,000 right now. Yeah. Why 16,000 right now? Because there is nothing here. It's a blank cell, and here we have 16,000. So the two of them added will give you 16,000, right? But remember, what is my formula here? My formula is summation of the values in the next row, right? So when I drag it down right now, oh, by the way, I don't have to drag it here. I can always do a double click here, okay? So double click. Now do you see that figure changes to 21,000? Okay, the reason I did this is because in a real life scenario, okay, when I get this amount in my bank account, the first reaction would be I'll be happy because I got some payment. But the next moment when I realize, oh, okay, this 5,000 amount was actually an expense, okay, then my mind will quickly tell me, well, the amount is transferred as 26,000, but the actual income is 21,000. Yeah, that's why I used this sum formula here and did addition of the next two values. Then after some time, okay, when the guy from whom I purchased all the stuff, he sends me an invoice, okay, of 16,000. I now realize that, oh, okay, apart from the 5,000, there was another expense of 16,000. So now I will rest my cursor in that C4 cell, which tells me that, okay, the actual net income now from this training is 5,000. Then after some time, somebody comes up to me and says, you know what, we need to get our commission back because we helped you getting some nominations and blah blah blah. So then that is another expense of 4,000. At the end of the day, I finally realize, okay, from the time the money was transferred into my bank account till the end of the day, I finally realized that, okay, my net income was just 1,000 rupees, and that's what it shows me here as a final figure here. And that's the reason why I have made this invisible column. Okay, again, if you are very comfortable with your formulas, arithmetic formulas and referencing, you would know what I'm talking about. Okay, anyway, I've prepared this data for myself now what I will do is, and remember, this invisible and visible columns were not given to me in the actual data. Okay, I'm prepared them to be able to make a waterfall chart. Okay, now, like I said earlier, I will simply select any one cell of my choice in the data. Of course, I will not click somewhere outside. Okay, in the data, I press Alt F1. Okay, now you see that this column chart is made because the default is set to column. Okay, now again I will go to this design tab. Like I said, this design tab is like the lifeline of your charts. This time I will go to the change chart type and I will choose the one that says, can you see in the column section, I have this option that says stacked column. Okay, when you go to the column section of your all chart types, you will see that there is this option at number 2 under the column. It says stacked column. Okay, the initial one is a clustered column, which we were using so far, the default one. Okay, and this one is a stacked column. Okay, so I select that right now. Okay, and Rupesh has a question here. Okay, Rupesh, let me just go to that. Okay, Rupesh says, what is chart elements? Well, on the right side now, because I am using this Excel 2013, I will have this thing here. There's a plus sign here. It says chart elements. But let's see what's there in store for us. Okay, so I can always do a plus and I can add data label, or I can make a, do you see so many options coming up here? Okay, so okay, 1 minute, I'll just go back to the, yeah, I had changed it to when I went to change chart type, I had changed it to stacked column, and that's what I want for the waterfall. So in your Excel 2007 and 10, you will simply do a right click on the skyscrapers, these buildings, okay, these bars, and then you will get all these options. But in 13, there is this nice thing that they've also given. You can simply click on this plus, and you can say data labels, just tick mark. Do you see what happens when I click on data labels? It gives up the figures as well. If I uncheck that, the figures are gone. Then there is option that says data table. So right below my graph or my chart, it prepares a nice tabular structure. Okay, so chart elements means whatever options are available to format your chart or to decorate your chart. Okay, that's what it is. It means, right? Okay, so are you okay now, Rupesh? Do you get my point? All of you, are you okay? Are you still okay? So friends, now you have seen here that I've changed the column, the chart type from a clustered column to stacked column, because that's what is ideally required for waterfall chart. Now I will select the boundary of the chart. I go to the design tab, right? And I go to this command here that says select data. Okay, I will go with select data now, and it comes up with that select data source window. Like we had done in one of the examples earlier, I will now remove this amount column. Okay, this amount column was the one which was given to me earlier. Okay, I mean, that was the original column given to me. Anson, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be really loud. If I if I try to be louder than this, then my neighbors will come here and they will trouble me. I'll be in a problem. Yeah. Okay. I hope others are able to hear me. So Anson, maybe I'll just try to kind of try and do some settings on my headset here, the physical headset. But anyway, okay, so I will come to this amount column now, and I will remove the amount column. Remember, we have taken assistance from the visible and the invisible column to make this waterfall chart. So I will remove the actual amount column. Okay, so now do you see how my chart is coming up? Okay, the invisible column is displayed in the maroon bar, maroon color, and the visible column is in green. Okay, what I will do now is I will simply select the maroon portion of the advertising bar. Okay, I use my mouse, I click on the maroon portion. Okay, one sec, I have to just click on OK from this select data source window. Okay, so I simply select this maroon, and Shivendra Gupta says to remove the amount column, we can also uncheck. Yes, absolutely. Because not everybody is on the Excel 13 version, I decided to talk about the remove button there. But Shivendra, you are right. Yes. Okay. Okay. So I select one of these maroon portions, and do you notice that all the maroon portions are now selected? The maroon portion for advertising, the maroon portion for purchase, and the maroon portion for commission. Everything is now selected. Okay, I can just come to one of these. I can do a right click, and in the fill, okay, in the fill, I will check no fill. Okay, in the fill portion, I will check no fill. Right? Do you see that there is no color now applied for the maroon portion? It's there, but it's not visible to the audience. Okay, and now what I will do is, do you still see that I still have the advertising, the purchase, and the commission bars visible, columns visible? Okay, remember, they were my expenses. They were all negative values. The money has gone out of my pocket or my bank account. Okay, so what I will do now is I will simply just select the first one, that is the advertising one. Okay, just the advertising one. Okay, so I'll just do a double click here. Okay, I come in on that bar, I simply just do a double click here, and right click, and again I go to fill, and this time I will choose no red one. Okay, remember, it was negative, the money has gone out of my pocket. Okay, so I'll check red one. Okay, and that's it. Now remember, the purchase and also the commission these two bars also were my expenses, correct? And that's why I will simply now select the purchase one, okay, and I will simply press F4 on the keyboard. Remember, F4 is the shortcut for repeat action in Excel, okay? Not always will it perform the task of referencing, that is applying dollars. Sometimes it also works as a repeat action, like I did just now, okay? One more time, check it out. See, now I go to the commission, okay? I select the commission bar. Again, I will simply press F4. Check it out. So whatever activity was done for the advertising bar, the red color, is now applied to the remaining two bars also. And that's it. There goes my waterfall chart. So anybody who now looks into this chart will say that, okay, there is this 26,000 amount of credit. However, there was a debit of 5,000, then some more, and finally my net income for this entire training is just 1,000 rupees or reals. Okay, and further, like we discussed earlier, I can simply just select these. I can say add data labels, or I can go to chart elements, like Rupesh was asking the earlier thing, and I can just select some data labels. So if I have data labels, it becomes all the more evident for the person to make out the figures rather than going to the actual data. Okay, are you all okay with me? Did you all understand this concept of waterfall chart? Okay, just a quick recap. I created two columns, and I finally removed the actual given amount column, and I just did some formatting to make it look like a proper structure where I can see the inflow and outflow of the cash. Are you all okay with me? Thank you, Shanta. Thank you, Ashwani, for the acknowledgement. Now we will go to the thermometer chart. Okay, so let's press control page down. If you look at my data here in the next worksheet, which is thermometer, okay, do you notice oh, okay. Amit says, why is it called a waterfall chart? Well, I'm not sure why Microsoft named it as a waterfall chart. Actually, it's not a real waterfall like you would see in a nice place. Okay, but these are just minute waterfalls. There's a section of outflow going. That's why. Yes, Ashwani, like you said, it's small waterfalls. Yes, correct. Yeah. So don't go by the real sense, the real meaning of the term. Okay, uh, your English meanings can be different from your Excel terminologies. Okay, friends, are we all set? Can I go to this next one, this thermometer chart? Okay, here I have been given some sales figures and some target values. Okay, now remember, in this case, all the target for every month is 350. Okay, and in some months my team has achieved, in some months my team has not achieved. Okay, like you can see, for the month of Jan, the target was 350. It was not achieved. Yeah, it was a poor performance. But in the Feb, it was good. It was good. 479. Right. Now, the first thing is I will simply select any one cell of my choice. I press Alt F1 again, so it gives me that default column chart. Again, I go to design. So this is just a basic graph which I've got, but now I will make it a chart. So I go to design, I go to change chart type, and now this time, friends, what I will do is I will not really change the type. Okay, let me. I mean, of course, we can create a thermometer chart with other different options also. But the simplest method that I like to do here is this. I'll not change it. Okay. Do you see that all my sales figures are shown up in blue, and the target is shown up in maroon? Okay. And in some other cases, you might have a scenario where the targets are also different for each month. But in this case, I've taken an example where I've kept the same target. Okay. All right. So now I will simply just select one of these blue bars. Okay. Those are my actual achieved sales figures. Right click, and I might want to do a format data series. And I can just go to the fill option here, and I can just change the color. Just a minute. This online webinar panel is just disturbing me a bit. Just a minute. Okay. So I go to the fill, okay, and I will now change it to Rupesh wants to know the data will automatically refresh when we change. Yes, absolutely, yes. So for example, I mean, before I move on, I'll just quickly show it to you. For the month of Jan, it was 127. Let's make it 227. Okay, and you will see here in this portion here, you will see this portion here. Okay, check it out. I press enter and quickly the bar raises. Okay, if I do a quick Control Z, that is undo, it moves back. So yes, as soon as you make the changes in your Excel data, the graph will change. Okay. So yes, I will select the what do you call the sales bars. Right click and I will say fill, and I like the black color. Okay, so I'll take the black color. So for the sales, I am taking black. Okay, now I will also go to the maroon bars. Again, right click. I will say format data series. In Excel 13, I already have the window pane that comes on the right hand side. But for other versions, it's always you'll do a right click, format data series. Now what I will do is, now do you see on the right side on my screen right now? Okay, there is this thing that comes up that says plot series on. And now I have selected the target portion, the maroon portion. I will plot this on secondary axis. So I click on secondary axis. Okay. Also, there is an option here that says gap width. Now, because the sales and the target bars are placed in one single chart, there is a lot of mess that's happening and it's not very clear. Okay, so in the gap width portion, okay, I will just make it from it's currently showing me as 219%, but I can always change it to maybe 50%. Okay, so I have just modified the gap width. Okay, also I will go to the color, the fill. Okay, and in the solid, now whatever I'm doing now is for the target. Okay, for the sales I have only simply changed the color to black, but for the target bars I'm doing that activity with first is I plot that on the secondary axis. Then I also did something with the gap width, that is I made it to 50%. Now I will come to solid fill, and maybe I can take a blue color here for the target, and in the transparency I will make it 50%. Yeah, I hope you all can see whatever changes I'm doing there in the format data series window. They are all happening in the actual graph. Okay, Shanta wants to know what is secondary axis. Well, in a graph you have primary and secondary axis. Sometimes you might also have more axes, but generally you have the first and second when you prepare a column chart in this case, because I have two different categories, that is sales and target, my Excel automatically plotted this entire graph on just one single axis to show. But because there is one column called sales, and because there is another column called target, and because I did not want to mess it up, I purposely plotted uh, the sales in the primary axis and the target on the secondary axis for a better visualization. And Shanta, you will now see that I am now changing the transparency to 50%. I'm changing the color to blue. Okay, I press enter here. Okay, I come out of this whole thing. Okay, and come back to the graph. Do you see? Yes, like Varun Bandari has already acknowledged, I already have the thermometer chart here. I simply had to just do some formatting for the target, the maroon portion. I changed the gap width. I did something with the transparency. I also, importantly, I did plot that on the secondary axis. And now one final thing that I will now need to do is select the secondary axis from here, the actual graph. Okay, select the secondary axis from here, and press the delete key on my keyboard, and I'm done. Okay, just 1 minute, friends. Okay, yes, I select the secondary axis, this one, the place where my circles are blinking right now. Okay, I will come here. Oops, I think there is some problem with my my delete. Okay, I come here, and yes, can you see this, friends? I will just delete that, and there goes my actual thermometer chart. Can you see all target values are at the same level, and the buildings, the skyscrapers of the sales are up and down depending on the actual data. Okay, friends, now we will look at an important okay, Rupesh has a question. Can we change the color of sales bar? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, you can always take any different color. I took black, but you can take anything. I mean, for a thermometer chart, it's always good to have a combination like blue and black. That's why I did that. Okay, and in this case, you will see that all the targets are at the same level. That's why you have all the buildings of targets same. The slightly faint, the transparent buildings are at the same level. Okay. Okay, all right. Now, friends, we will look at, and Varun says, by simply deleting that secondary axis, we have matched the scale of both the axes. Yes, Varun, that's right. That was my whole intention of deleting the, I just took assistance, like a very selfish person, only to make the chart. I took assistance from the secondary axis, but when I was done, I did delete that just simply to match the scale of both the axes. Okay, thanks, Varun. Thanks for the addition there. Good point. Okay, Vikrant says, just a reminder about the paste special example. Yes, Vikrant, I had asked you to remind me later, but we just have got 7 minutes now. Of course, we can extend the session a bit, but let's get done with the histogram first. There's this last sheet which is pending. Yeah. Uh, okay, so let's just finish off with the Gaurav says, was it compulsory to add secondary axis? Yes, Gaurav, because I was interested in the thermometer chart, like in the earlier case where for the waterfall chart it is required to have an extra assistance of extra columns to manage your positive and negative values. Here also it was imperative for me to do that. That's how the thermometer chart is made. Yes. Okay. All right. Now I think we will move to the histogram. Okay. So let's come to the histogram worksheet. Okay. Friends, I might not be able to answer all your questions uh, because there are a lot of I mean, I was told there are close to 300 registrants. Of course, not everybody makes it to the webinar, but because we have just a 1 hour session, it becomes difficult to quickly check in the questions window and then read the question and then answer. In a real life classroom environment, you simply have the person standing up or raising his hand and asking you a question. Here, you have to make sure as a trainer to go down to the questions window and read the question and then answer it. So I'll try my level best. In fact, so far I've done it. I've tried my best to answer all questions, but if I've not, kindly excuse me for that. Anyway, friends, histogram is what I have here. Okay. Now, in all your Excel sheets that you are working on, whichever version you have, okay, this histogram, okay, there's an add-in that needs to be initialized. Okay, you cannot simply see the histogram option available in your Excel ribbon. I mean, if you go to the Home tab, Insert tab, it's not there. Okay, let's see how to enable that. Okay, so you go to the File tab in Excel 13 or 10, or if you're on Excel 2007, you'll go to the Office button, just top left. Okay, go here and you have options, Excel options. Okay, here the place where my circles are blinking. Okay, in the options, okay, you will see that I have this add-ins towards the extreme end of that several categories. I have add-ins, second last. In the add-ins, okay, in the add-ins, I will go to Excel add-ins at the bottom here and I'll say go. Okay, I'm clicking on go. When I say go, it opens up a window that says add-ins, and from here I need to make sure that the analysis tool pack is activated. Now in my case, the tick mark is there already, so I'll simply say OK now. And now when I go to my data tab, okay, in the Excel ribbon, I've got this data tab, correct? So in the data tab, on the extreme right hand side, I have this data analysis add-in, which I have just initialized. It's free, it just needs to be initialized. It's already there in your Excel, it's programmed, just needs to be initialized. And it's not a third-party add-in, mind you. Okay, so I have now initialized this data analysis, all right, add-in, and now let's see. Now I have been given these scores here. You can see these are sales figures or some points or some data, whatever. Okay, in the A column, and the second column is my range. So I want to see how many scores are there in the A column, which are between 0 to 20. Okay, how many are between 21 to 40? That's what the B column specifies. It's a range. So 0 to 20, 21 to 40, 41 to 60, 61 to 80, and then 81 and more. Anything above 80. Okay, so this B column is my range, and for an histogram analysis, you have to make sure that this range column is sorted in ascending order. Okay, so in my case right now, I have already made sure that it's sorted in ascending order. Okay, now I will go to this data, okay, and I will go to this data analysis. All right, in the data analysis I've got so many options to choose from. I can always use the scroller, okay, but I can always type HI, okay, or just a simple H, and it highlights histogram for me. Are you all okay with me so far? Yeah, I know there are just 3 minutes remaining, so my flight is not on time. Yeah, but it's okay. So can you all see this? I went to my data, I went to data analysis, and then I went to histogram, and I say OK. Right now, when I say OK on histogram, do you realize that I get a window that says histogram? Okay, so now it says input range. Where is my input range? The column which is already given to me, the data column, the score column, whatever, the actual column. Now I will select it along with the header. I just do a simple control shift down arrow, okay, to select the whole column. Next, it says bin range. This second column is my bin range. Okay, bin means my range. Okay, so bin range. Right now, because I have selected the headers also while doing the selection of both these columns, I will make sure that I also tick mark on these on the labels, okay. All right. Now, of course, in your data, if there is no labels, there's no heading, there's no header, then you can always ignore this tick mark. Don't do that tick mark then. But normally, it's always good to have some headers for your data. So you will tick mark on the labels. Now it says output range. Okay. Now you can simply just decide. Oh, sorry. I think I just. Sorry, I just deselected it. Yeah. Okay. In the output range, okay, I will decide where I would like to have the output of this data, the actual histogram table and the histogram chart. Where do I want it to be displayed? So if it is in the same worksheet, I can randomly select any one cell of my choice. Can you all see this? Right now I'm selecting E2. If you want to have this output in a new worksheet, obviously you will select this new worksheet. Okay, but and automatically when you press OK, a new sheet will be prepared showing the histogram. Right now, I will keep it to output range as somewhere here in the E2 of this same Excel spreadsheet. Okay, same sheet maybe. Okay, and finally I will also tick mark on chart output. Okay, that's it. And finally one last step is OK. Yeah, and there you go, friends. Can you see there is a table which is created in the E and the F column which talks about how many scores are there in the range of all the categories. So it says 0 to 20, there is no score, so it says 0. Okay, and the same information is displayed in your actual histogram. Can you see this? So not like in a normal bar chart or a column chart, it will not display the actual figure as 21 or 71 or 30. It counts how many scores are there in that range, and range wise the columns are displayed. Yeah, 21 to 40, there are 3 scores. That's why for the range that says 40, the building is only up to number 3. Then from 41 to 60, there is this. So depending on the tabular data which is prepared here, the histogram is also prepared. Shivendra has a question here. Shivendra says, can we change range like 0 and stuff like that? Of course, Shivendra, you will have to, before you start off with your data analysis, you will write down your ranges here. So I have taken 0 to 20. You might want to take 0 to 35. So in your case, you will make the first cell 35. Then your next range, you might want it to happen as 36 to 70. Then you will write 30 here in the B2 cell, and then 70 here in the next cell. So yes, of course, but please make sure that the range column, that is the B column, is ascending order sorted. Okay, Shantha Jayakumar has a question. She says, I'm not sure whether you're a she or a he, I'm sorry, but Shantha says, why it says more against and 2 against it. Well, Shantha, do you see that my range that I had defined, in my case, the highest possible figure that I had taken was 80. After 80, I have not specified anything in the cell B6. So Excel doesn't understand whether I want to go up to 90, that is whether I want 81 to 90 or 81 to 95, or 81 to 100 or 81 to what? What after 80? I have not specified that to Excel. That's why anything above 80 is shown up as more. Did you get my point, Shanta? Okay, great, superb. Yeah. So like I said, you have to make sure that this B column, the bin column, the range column is depending on what are your ranges, what categories do you want to make. You will say 0 to 10, then 11 to 20, then 21 to 30, whatever. So you define that, but make sure that it's in the ascending order itself, smallest to largest. Okay, friends, another thing I will just quickly talk about here. Are you guys okay with me so far? Is everybody okay with me so far? I can see there are some 30 participants right now. Are you all okay with me? Vinod Kumar, thank you. Ramit, Rupesh, thank you so much. Okay, great. Friends, I will simply prepare another really quick data here. Okay, I love cricket. So let's take an example. I'm taking a data of cricket. So I'm taking batsman, right? So the name of my player I have here. Maybe I have batsman one. Okay. You know what? I can take some of the people from here itself. So I'll take Amit. We have Amit Ranjan here. We have Vinod Kumar here. We have Ashwani here. We have Shivendra Gupta here. Okay. So I'm just taking all of your names. Let's assume you guys are all. Let's also put my own name here. Star player. Right. Okay. All right. And then I have a score column here. Now I am not going to put the score manually. I will ask Excel to perform this task for me with a formula. So any score between 10 to 99 is okay. Let's assume we are playing a like 10-over match, so you can't score a century. All right, that's it. Okay, so then I have got these figures now, and oh wow, Excel likes Shivendra. So Shivendra has got the highest score, 93. Okay, Ashwani has got 52. Okay, great. Now, friends, I will simply make a graph out of this by pressing Alt F1. I think this was very basic. We discussed right in the beginning, and you have the column chart prepared there. Okay. In this stage, I will simply call it as a graph because it's a very simple thing. Okay. Now let's take an example that another player is added. Okay. So let's take an example. Rupesh is also one of the batsmen in our team. Rupesh is also added. Okay. And I'm giving some score to Rupesh now. Do you all see that my Excel is not incorporating Rupesh in the graph now? Can you see this? It's only showing from Amit to Ambarish, just the first 5 batsmen. Can you all see this? Because of course, like somebody had asked me earlier, what if I make change in the existing data? Of course, if I make change in the existing data, so for example, for Vinod, if I make it from 13, if I make it to 34, quickly the graph changes. However, when I add a new person, it is not adding in the graph. Do you all see that, friends? Okay. Now, to solve this problem, a lot of corporate users of Excel, what they do is they go to the design tab and then they go to select data, and from here they keep changing the range. My problem is you can't keep doing that always when you have more and more players being added in your data. I mean, more and more rows being added in your data. You can't keep doing that. Okay. That's why, friends, I will just say delete on this graph. Okay. I'm not okay with this. Delete. Okay. Now I come back to my original data. Okay. And in the original data, before I press Alt F1 to make a graph, all right, I will use a wonderful feature called table, a wonderful feature of Excel called table. Select any one cell of your choice in the data, go to the insert tab, insert, okay, and right here, just on the left side somewhere in the insert, you've got this wonderful thing called table. Okay, the shortcut for that is Control T for table. Okay, so either you go to the insert tab and press table like this and then say OK from this window, or you simply press Control T and press OK from this window. Do you see that your Excel data has now changed into a nice blue and white formatting along with the header in bold and the drop down given there, and so do you see now that's a slightly better way of looking at it now? Okay, now I will make the graph by pressing Alt F1. Okay, what I've done is, because it was not allowing me to incorporate my new rows in the chart or the graph, okay, I have converted my given data into a feature of Excel called table, and now I will make the graph. So Alt F1. Check it out. Okay, I get the graph now, and now you see the magic of this wonderful feature called table. I will add another person now. Okay, so I think Vikrant Gupta is not added as yet. He's one of our attendees today. Vikrant is. I simply add Vikrant. I press enter and see he is added there in the graph. Check it out. I do not have to do anything. I don't have to manually drag the data. I don't have to go to the design tab. Yeah. Vikrant is saying wonderful. When Vikrant, are you saying wonderful because your name is added or because you like this feature called table? Okay. And not just, oh, you're saying both. Okay, wonderful. Right. Friends, are you okay with me so far? Right. All of you, are you able to understand this? Okay. And not just for addition of rows, even if I add another column. So let's take an example. I already have a score column, the batting score. Maybe I have another column here that says wickets. Okay. Wickets. Right. Check it out. Maybe when Amit has taken just a couple of wickets, maybe 3, right? So let's say, you know, we are all batsmen, right? So we'll have less number of wickets. We cannot be taking 15, 20 wickets. Okay. Vinod Kumar says, good use of dynamic table and chart. School Ambarish. Thank you. Shanta J. Kumar says, wow, great. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Right. Do you see even the wickets are getting added in the maroon bar? Okay. Uh, Vikrant says we use 2003 in Office. Hope I can still make. No, Vikrant, no. 2003 Excel will not have all the features. Whatever I discussed here, most of them are applicable to 2007, 10, and 13, but not many features will be available in Excel 2003. You might want to introduce your IT head of the company to me, and I will ask him to get you the 13 version. Okay. Okay. All right. So friends, I hope it was a useful session. Yeah. Gaurav Doshi says nice. Thank you for the informative session. Oh, Vikrant says paste special. Okay, really quick, really quick. Will not waste much time on that. Okay, Vikrant, for you. Ashwani Kumar says thank you so much. Just a minute, I'm getting a lot of responses now. Okay, wait, friends. Okay, Amit, thank you so much. Right, very lovely session, says Rupesh. Thank you. Okay, could you have a session on conditional formatting? Varun says, well, Varun, in fact, my very second session with this Edureka was on conditional formatting. So you might want to request them to have another one like this session which we had today. We had one session already about data visualization, all these graphs, but because of public demand, I'm doing it again. So maybe Varun, you can ask the support team to have another one, or you can ask for recording. You can check with them. Okay, let's really Vikrant, for you. I'll just quickly take an example of paste special. Okay, Debanshu says. Just a minute, friends. Let me read all your comments one by. I mean, okay. I can't even say one by one here because you guys are all typing it, and you're not in a classroom environment. Okay. Debanshu says, "Wish we could download this session for a reference while practicing." Well, Debanshu, yes, ideally I do that in all my sessions, but this was an open webinar, so it's difficult to know who all are coming and how many are coming. Also, you never know; some unwanted people also might come. Okay, so Devanshu, it's not really practically possible always to send the file. Okay, Varun says upload a link for the video. Yes, all these sessions you can always get a recording. Definitely, you can, but you'll have to ask the support team. Okay. Okay, friends, just a quick thing. Do you see that I've got some data here? Okay, paste special. Okay, I have got some data here. Okay, Yadi Sukranti, thank you so much. Okay, so I've got some data here, and what I'm doing here is just a quick summation. It's a very basic formula. Okay, alt equal to is shortcut for summation. By the way, alt equal to is the shortcut for summation, friends. Okay, alt equal to, you just go to the place where you want the answer, simply select alt equal to on the keyboard together simultaneously, and you get the summation. Don't waste your time in doing whatever you guys do right now. Okay, alt equal to. Now this summation formula, if I want to copy and paste, okay, then I will simply just do a control C here. Okay, and right click here. Okay, and I can say paste special, or I can go to the home tab and say paste and paste special, and I can say values, and I can say OK, and it's done. Now, so those of you who are keen on knowing paste special, okay, if you look at this, it says summation. In the E column, it still shows up as summation. Though the value displayed is 306, it is still summation. But here, if I press function 2 or if I just double click, you will see that it shows proper figure, the whole number. Okay. Bama Shiv Kumar. Oh, okay, Bama Shiv Kumar says, thank you so much, Ambrish. Quite enriching. Thank you, Bama. I know that you are a trainer based out of Hyderabad, and you also do these sessions. So coming from a person like you is a nice thing to know. Ashwani Kumar says, have a safe flight. Okay, thank you, Ashwani. Okay, so I think we will stop here. Of course, you can find me on almost all social networking sites, because when I'm not doing training, I like to idle on all social networking sites. So hope to see you sometime in another session. Okay, thank you, Anju. Thank you, Vikrant. All right. So, friends, Vikrant says, "Can we have your number, please?" Well, Vikrant, I'm not sure if I would be allowed to disclose that. But yes, like I said, you can always connect with me on a lot of social networking sites. My name is Ambarish Tharte. Okay. Amit, macros, yes, very soon we might have a session on macros. Macros, at the moment, we are not doing macros. So the only option is you try doing it on Google or YouTube. Of course, I do it at times, classroom training, but with Edureka right now, we're not doing macros. We're focusing on all Excel features, Excel topics, various versions. Okay, so friends, wish you a happy Ganesh festival for those of you who are celebrating, and hope to see you next time. Thank you so much for attending. Good night. Bye bye.